up with Dr. Leyland. Step into the future, the world is waiting now. Dreams are in the making, we'll show you how. From the books to the screen, from the stage to the stars. Level up your game, let's raise the bar. Innovation, inspiration, it's in our DNA. Breaking through the limits, we're paving the way. Level up, reach the sky, take the lead, don't be shy. Your story's worth it, your light will shine. At Level Up Academy, it's your time. Oh, it's your time. At Level Up Academy, we rise and climb. Empowered in your passion, your voice will be heard. Building a legacy with every word. From podcasts to pages, from business to art. Level Up's the place where it all can start. With heart and with vision, we're chasing every goal. Together we'll ignite the fire in your soul. Level up, reach the sky, take the lead, don't be shy. Your story's worth it, your light will shine. At Level Up Academy, it's your time. Oh, it's your time. At Level Up Academy, we rise and climb. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Oh, we're trailblazing, breaking through the mold. Dreams are alive, let your story unfold. With courage and pride, we'll take the fight. At Level Up, we own the night. Level up, reach the sky, take the lead, don't be shy. Your story's worth it, your light will shine. At Level Up Academy, it's your time. Oh, it's your time. At Level Up Academy, we rise and climb. So let's level up and never look back. On the road to greatness, we're on the right track. Together we'll soar, together we'll thrive. At Level Up Academy, we're alive.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Level Up Circle TV. Okay, so we are going to actually do a couple of things. Hello, everybody. This is Dr. Leyland, your host. Okay, full disclosure, I don't know why I'm telling this, but I'm telling this. This is actually like my pajama. I haven't really like changed it. You know, that mood that I have. But look, I have my hair done. Yeah, kinda, really. I did do my makeup in front of my sisters this morning because that's just how I roll. And you know, we're embracing authenticity at some point or another. And here's the thing: it's first like the first 2 weeks of New Year is always hard because you have that pressure of like, oh my God, I got to do something because it's New Year. And then the second part is, what something am I going to do? And then the second part of the something is, okay, well, CJ, what about this and this? And I have great ideas. But then if I don't feel those ideas is rooted on something that I believe in, I don't move forward with it. Right. So a couple of things that I wanted to do today. So I was talking to Susannah, my partner in crime, my sister from another mister. We're talking about, I wanted to do a theme every single Sunday. And this today, we're going to talk about Empower Hour, right? We're going to specifically give you ideas on personal development. 3 things. I'm big on number 3, guys. It's just going to always happen. First thing is focus on self-improvement, the mindset shifts, and building confidence. And when we talk about these things, because they are intangible, meaning you cannot see it, right? So it's hard for you to follow. And what I do doesn't mean it's going to work for you. However, I have taught these things for so many years, like over almost 14 years now, and I have seen my students improved their selves to actually level up. When you improve, you have to look at it small baby steps at a time because we're emotional being. And then we get to read about my like a Bible because I was asking her, I'm like, "Do you have the NIV Bible or what?" And she's like, "Oh, it's NASB." I'm like, "What is that?" And she's like, "My grandpa made this Bible." I'm like, well, I don't have a cool grandpa like that. My grandpa was a logger. So, and my great grandpa was a scientist and an inventor. But I am gonna revisit different kinds of Bibles out there, right? So I'm gonna revisit my NIV. This is the new international version. So before we start, I'm going to tell you, I'm gonna read something to you that, like, my Bible literally are like this. Like, I highlight things that I really love, and I've had this for over 20 years actually, and I like to journal. But I love this part. This is Psalm 4 verse 5 and I'm sorry, chapter 5 verse 4. It says, "You are not God who takes pleasure in evil. With you the wicked cannot dwell. The arrogant cannot stand in your presence. You hate all who do wrong. You destroy those who tell lies." That alone should literally scare you if you lie about people. And my daughter really taught me something today when we had a conversation for breakfast while I was baking potatoes for her. Actually, I cooked it, I fried it, and I baked it. I'm like, Jesus, for 3 potatoes. Anyway, I did that. And we were talking about the Bible and our actions towards, the Bible, and said, "Mom," I said, this is big step for me because I think it bothers her when I get really mad at something or someone that my mouth just right? But I don't say it to the people. I just say it to myself, but I think she hears me. And she's like, "Mom, when someone do something wrong to you and you don't take action to it, but instead your heart is the one and your action takes heart, it's between you and God, right? So if God judges you for what you do, you need to preserve your own soul and always go towards every day that what you're doing and strive to be just like God. Like, it's never going to happen, I know, as humanly possible, but if you try your hardest to walk in this journey, because it's supposed to be a difficult journey. When you are the closer you are to God, it's not easy because everything here is made for Satan, really. Right? The whole world is. And I don't know how we went to that conversation from TikTok, but literally that was my breakfast conversation with my daughter. And she bought her daddy a new, her daddy has King James Bible, and that's what he grew up in. And I do NIV, but I also, I think, have it on my cell phone. So, and I'm just like, my heart was just really fluttering when I was looking at my Bible and the things that I like literally highlight. I'm like, CJ, I need to go back. I need to save my soul for sure. And that's where we are empowering our. We have ADHD, guys, so the conversation is going to go from potatoes to Bible to empower our. I'm just saying. But before I get into trouble, I'm going to bring my partner in crime. How are you doing, sister?
I'm doing good. You're doing great with this. It's like we've taken a whole new direction this week.
It is. No, no. I think Bella's trying to save my soul, like she really is, because I have a lot of my heart is tainted with contempt. And she's like, "Mom, I love you, and I know I'm sometimes disrespectful, and I'm really trying my best, but let's talk about this, Christianity that we're going in." And I said, "Man, I spent a lot of money putting my kids to Christian school. It is helpful because now she's trying to save my soul, y'all. My 17-year-old is trying to save my soul, which I love." But I'm gonna go back to my Bible, and I just bought the pink, those tabs like
Uh-huh.
Ezekiel and that. I'm hoping it's the same thing as this one and not the King James version, because then it wouldn't work. Then I'm gonna be upset because then I have to go to Amazon. Oh, so, but I really love that verse from Psalm. Like, Deuteronomy, and what I was talking to you, that's why we're almost late. I really love that because it kind of gives you. I think we need like a 15-minute every Sunday for Empower Hour on our favorite verse of the Bible. What do you think?
That works, and because there's so many to choose from. So
I know. And my Psalm is always my favorite. I don't know what happened to our sister Danielle. She's probably at church trying to save our soul too. That's probably
probably,
what.
yeah.
Yeah.
After a message, I'm guessing she is probably probably well deep in church tonight.
Right? Seriously. And she has children. She has three kids that she want to make sure that they're living a Christian life
Yep.
as much as possible, right? We are all sinners. We're striving to be Christian as much as possible. We can judge each other, but at the end of the day, judgment is not from each one of us, it's actually from God. And so that's how it works. Now, tonight I want to talk about focus on self-improvement, mindset shifts, and building confidence, because we are going to fuel our ambition 1 hour at a time, right? There's so many people on LinkedIn, by the way, who's trying to level up the world through education. So thank you for doing that. That is part of my mission. Whether I'm part of your um, circle or not, you're actually helping me, and my heart is big and fluttering when you do help other people and other community to level up. So thank you for doing that. But let's talk about the first thing, which is self improvement, right? Since we are doing our ambition. So first, what is your ambition, sister? What do you want to accomplish?
I want to accomplish being on speaker platforms, having those speaker engagements, especially whether it's in a larger company to talk belonging, or in a more like a conference or convention focused on women to move beyond boxes, to take back control of their lives. Because so many of us, is like we're being told who we are, what we're supposed to do, what's expected of us. And too often, what other people are telling us, it's based on their viewpoint, it's based on what they think, and it's not. We sit there and we know that what they're telling us to do is not what we're supposed to do, but for whatever reason, we can't do other than try to do what they tell us to do.
I
And
like that.
it starts in childhood,
Yeah.
frankly.
Well, it does. It does. And I think we sometimes get hung up on our past and how we were raised. But at the same time, we have a choice now that we're adults, right? And so, how do we focus on self improvement and shifting our mind so that we can build confidence? First of all, you got to define what box you want to get out of, because there's way
Yep.
too many. So, you got to do one box at a time for sure. Now, what I want to talk about is adopting that growth mindset to get out of the box, right? There are certain words that we get stuck on. By the way, guys, this is from Bella Grace. It's an elixir. I swear by it. I told even my daughter, like, my back is always killing me because I have scoliosis. I have migraine. I'm taking something for that. That's more natural with vitamin D. And I have knee problems lately. Oh geez, getting old is really not fun. And I am sedentary, so that is my fault. No excuses. But this thing literally is helping me, like, look young inside and out, but at the same time feel good. And so I'm just saying, they are expensive. They are $135 for 30. And I take one at a time. I forgot to take it today, so I'm feeling my left knee hurting. I was like, ah man, what am I missing? And I'm like, oh, I didn't take that, so I'm taking it. Plug in there. So let's talk about adapting a growth mindset, right? Instead of saying, oh my gosh, I can't do this, right? We could add a word, I can't yet. Understand that
Yeah.
abilities can improve with effort and persistence, right? We're full of excuses, really are. And embrace those challenges as opportunity to grow. So every time people give you crap for something, try to think about, is that for you or is that a reflection of them, right? Embrace the challenges for opportunities to grow is not easy. Definitely not easy. But when people are projecting their own insecurities and their own negativity and their own pain, here's the thing: when we feel rejected and when we feel that we are not loved or we are not accepted, the pain is so hard to bear that you become a monster that you don't want to see. That's just human nature. I'm sorry. It does. And so when the pain is so high, you do everything you can to preserve yourself, right? And your emotions and your heart. You're saying things that you don't mean, you're doing things that you don't want to do, but somehow deep inside of you, it's because you feel rejected and not accepted. So how do we embrace that challenge of pain and rejection as an opportunities to grow, CJ? Right? Because that's hard. It's very hard. And so you have to look at yourself. Instead of focusing on how people are making you feel, how are you making the other people feel? Why are they feeling like that? Why are they acting like that? And having that self awareness is also painful. You're like, wow, I'm a monster. How did I make that somebody feel? But you got to create boundaries on your feelings, because then if you have a pity party too much, then you feel like crap on yourself and it's really hard to dig, especially if you have ADHD, you have depression and anxiety. So, how do we embrace challenges as opportunities to grow? One breath at a time, literally one action at a time. And when we have ADHD, we get overwhelmed easily. Our emotions, when we get hurt, we shut down like those clamshells when you're trying to get dig. I don't know if you guys have seen clam, but a live clam, when you're trying to dig, they shut down. That's literally us. We are super sensitive. And when you hurt our feelings, we clam up. We, instead of opening up, because we don't feel safe, we clam up like a clam, we close up, right? And really, if you open it up, you'll see the pearl, you see the beauty in us. And every single person have that ability to be beautiful, no matter who you are, where you are, what you have done in the past, it doesn't matter. So how do we embrace challenges as opportunities to grow is one feeling and one emotion at a time, but try to have harmony within your mind, right? Don't keep pushing your agenda on people like, you hurt me, this is what blah blah blah, or you're not a good business partner. Pointing fingers doesn't go anywhere. But how you do it is keep a journal, document your feelings, document your mistakes and setbacks, and see what you can do tomorrow. Don't do it right now. Do what you can do tomorrow to change that, and then celebrate those small wins to build that momentum for you. That's would be my advice. Sister, how do you adapt a growth mindset?
It, it's along that same line. It's having that understanding of what you need to change first, because you can't grow unless you know what it is you want to change. What it is that you either are going to grow into or grow out of. And once you have that identified, then you can start taking the steps to to move beyond whatever that box is. Because again, I see that as you're either heading out of a box because you're going to grow, you're going to do something different. And like you said, it's one breath at a time, and you just have to think about what's the next step. And for me, it also includes just praying for to see the right path, to move and grow forward.
I love that. And having a growth mindset is so easy said than done. Again, the way I reflect is writing it down. And Sister April, welcome. So Sister April has one of those actionable steps to not only grow your mindset but grow your spirit. I feel like if our spirits are you know how the God, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, all the Trinity, right? Um, I feel like there's that body, mind, and soul that we are trying to balance always. I mean, we're energy being, right? This is just temporary, and everything that we do is to save our soul to be in the right place. That's what we've been always been taught. No matter what religion you're in, that's usually what you've been taught. So here's the thing: we need, as physical being, to actually, we're like a scene, like, oh, I don't believe in it because I don't see it. You don't see Jesus talking to you, do you? And if you do, please send him my way, because I really do need someone to talk to right now. Oh God, I'm like, God, help me, help my soul. But you believe because you have faith. And so the more you have faith, I don't know if you guys realize this, the more you actually feel at peace. The goal every day is not money to maximize. Money is just a tool for you to survive. It's money, you cannot buy your soul with money, right? You can buy your soul through kindness, right? So here's the thing. What you aim every day is happiness and peace. At least for me, that's what I aim. It doesn't matter. Look at Robin Williams or people like him who have a lot of money, who have a lot of friends, and still kill themselves because they felt lonely, right? Here's the thing, loneliness is so it's like elusive, but it's there. You could be surrounded by millions of people, but you still feel lonely. It's because you're craving that balance in your life. Your soul is probably depleted of goodness, right? When you feel like you are a Christian, but your soul is depleted with goodness, you always aim for something else that shouldn't be aimed. Kindness and compassion for others should be the one that you're aiming for. But here's the thing, when you're in desperate moments of your life and you feel rejected and you feel that God didn't even hear what you're saying or what you're feeling because you're in this box, that you're drowning of your own emotions, trying to get out that emotions while you're drowning is really hard. Okay. But here's the thing, have faith. Faith must be strong in there because that's the only way that can save your soul. So, how do we empower people, sister, to really talk about self compassion, right? Because I think we're so hard on ourselves sometimes. When we make mistakes, write three positive. One mistake that you do, write three positive things and talk to yourself like a friend. We're so kind to our friends, but we're so mean to ourselves. Why is that, right?
I think that's just how we were taught. It has everything's going to go right back to childhood of whether it's how you were treated on the playground, how your parents treated you, but it's or you just something happens where if you were mean to somebody or you tease them and then it comes back to you, it's like people just make you feel bad for it, and it doesn't take long for us to just feel bad about anything we do, and suddenly we start praising everybody else, and everybody else is better than us, everybody else is more worthy than us, and that self doubt, lack of self confidence, it makes it really difficult to stop that trend and to be more positive about ourselves.
It is, but we need to show compassion. So how do we do that? For me, every time I make a mistake, I write it down. I don't write it down like 60,000 words, okay? I just like, okay, if I say negative things like you're not good enough, why am I not good enough? Why not me? Right? So write down three things about yourself to counterbalance that negative thoughts. Because remember, guys, we're walking with 5 to 10% of our brain working. Literally, you're lucky if you get 10%, right? It's not an insult. It is science based. It's literally there. So I'm big on affirmation. Like, I am learning and growing every day. I cannot be perfect. I don't need perfection, right? Avoid comparison. Oh my God, comparing yourself to others is so easy to do, but then it is so bad for your mind. Like, you're feeding your soul so many negative things, right? Keeping a journal, even a sticky notes, and then putting it down in a journal later on in your notebook actually helps you reflect on how do you practice self compassion, or are you even practicing self compassion? I hear people that are so amazing, but I hear them talk to themselves so meanly. And I'm like, how do you survive? How do you survive every day feeding yourself so many negative thoughts about you're not good enough? You could have done this better. You could have done. Okay, no. It's journey is about self improvement. How can you do better tomorrow? Right? And Mike will tell you, get out of the kiddie pool. It's like, CJ, I'm like, okay, I am a kid sometimes. But it feels so good when you are seeing yourself grow and give yourself more compassion, right? But when you compare yourself to others, that's when you really kill your compassion for yourself. So, how do we empower you to not compare yourself? Look at the things that you're doing. That is something that you can be proud of. What are some of the three things that you are doing right now that you can be proud of? Like, I'm proud that Miguel is here and April is here. April is doing something good for our community by providing Reiki or breath work or, all of these things. You guys got to be open minded enough to try new things. And it doesn't mean that you're trying new things, you're unchristian or you're not respecting your God, whoever your God is. It's just trying new things, right? The goal is for you to experience anything humanly possible, so long as you're not hurting other people. With Miguel, I'm so proud of him because he literally went from whatever he's doing to leveling up with us, and now he has two books with us. I'm working on having his master thesis out there. We're working on getting proposals now. We had done two proposals for the city of New York. Like, whether this materialized or not, it's the experience and the journey that we're counting on, not necessarily the outcome. I think what happens is we have so much expectations on people, and we think that we can read people's mind. I can't read anybody's mind. I don't care how smart you are. I don't have a crystal ball to know what you're feeling and how you're feeling. So I appreciate it when people tell me, like, CJ, you make me feel bad. How did I make you feel bad? It's a conversation. It doesn't have to be disrespectful conversation, but it's a conversation, right? And I love that when you have conversation. But how do we empower people, sister, to take those small but consistent steps outside of their comfort zone so that we can build the confidence, right? Because confidence is a skill built through action, not perfection. So what are some of the things that you're doing, baby steps, that build your confidence?
It's it's seeing where I want to go and trying in looking at what steps I need to take to get there, uh, and then celebrate each win. So every time that you take a step in the direction you want to go, it doesn't matter how big or small it is. Every step is a win, so celebrate the win. Every time you make a goal, you should be celebrating each small step within it, so that you're not focused on the overall goal, because some of these goals, they take time to do. So again, if you're going to move beyond your own boundaries, it's understanding that it may be really hard, and when you do something, especially if it was something that was really hard for you to ever do and you managed to take that small step, celebrate that you did it, because it will make the next one easier.
It is.
Orlando.
Right. So here's I don't know if I told this to you guys. It's story time. It's story time. Um, Most of you already know that English is not my first language, and one of the my new friend that we just kind of talked said, "I can't even tell that you're not a native English speaker. You sound sometimes. I hope you don't get offended. A valley girl." I'm like, "Shh, my daughter already tells me that. My mom's from the valley. I guess it's fine, you know." Um, and I take that as a compliment. It's just your mindset. Every time you think of people like, oh, they're negative about me, or they hate me, or they reject me, that feeling that you're putting onto yourself is a lot of pressure. Try to think about it as a positive thing that they're saying, rather than a negative thing, because I used to live in that negative zone all the time because I was not confident in what I was doing. Heck, I didn't know what the heck the word was saying. But here's the thing. When I came here in the United States, I was 13, didn't know how to speak English. A boy, actually, I didn't even like him, so it's okay, called me dummy, and I thought that means cute. And I literally walked for a year thinking that word dummy means cute, okay? But something inside me, like, I'm always wanting, when I want something, I will get it. And I know that was my upbringing, because my grandmother never gave me limits to what I want. And she's like, the only thing she said was, it's not possible for you to marry an Italian. You're in the Philippines. Maybe someday, maybe a slight chance. Because I saw a TV and I'm like, I married an Italian guy, and my grandma's like, that's impossible. You're in the Philippines. Be careful what you ask for. I did marry an Italian. Anyway, here's the thing. I didn't build my confidence to speak as a speaker without me trying out, right? So I came in this country, I only speak English 3 months, and I competed in a public speaking with 150 people. My dad had to take anxiety pills because he had anxiety, and he couldn't understand why I'm so confident to try something that he knows I might 80-90% chance will fail. Literally his own words. He didn't know my capabilities because I didn't grow up with him. And I told dad, I said, how am I going to improve if I don't try? And if people hate me or don't like me because I didn't know how to speak English, the first thing I always ask is, why are you laughing? Shouldn't you be helping me? How am I supposed to improve and be a good citizen in this country if all you do is mock me? And dad's like, you're right. I'm like, yeah. And he goes, did you ask anybody that? And I'm like, yeah, I asked my teacher and my classmates because they like always laugh. And I'm like, why are you laughing? Shouldn't you be helping me? How do you say this thing? And dad's like, well, what makes you so confident to ask that? And I'm like, God, dad, everyone needs help. So if you really truly want help, you got to ask for help. Otherwise, people will automatically go into that automatic zone. But when I did public speaking that I could barely speak English, I don't even know what I said, okay? And all they said was, you get to talk about your life and your journey here. I'm like, how many minutes would you like? Right? Because I know how to speak English little bits. And I said, oh, whatever they're going to listen to my story. And I won. And when I won, and I asked my dad, I said, why do you think I win? I'm so confused. I thought I couldn't speak English or communicate, Dad. And Dad said, yeah, it was kind of confusing in the middle of your speaking, but I think they didn't see the words that you were saying. They saw your heart. They saw your confidence that you are trying so hard to get that. And that's how you win the people. And I'm like, okay, so it's all about the heart then, right? So if you think about it, guys, everything that you do, if you feel accepted, you feel good. If you feel rejected, you feel angry, right? So if you're rejecting other people, what do you think you're projecting to them? Happiness? No. Angry because you're not reflecting on your own emotions. My point for the story time is to build confidence, do not be afraid to ask for help. Do not be afraid to take that first step and said, I need help. I don't get it. Why are you doing it this way? However, there are some people that you do not need to engage in your life because they're not going to add anything in your life. Might not be today, maybe 5 years from now, they might be able to add. But do not engage on people who are not ready for you because it does not build you self confidence. It just builds and destroys your spirit to move forward. You only empower yourself if you take the first step. Don't wait for people to take the action for you, right? And how you react to people's rejection also reflects on you as a mature person. I can be immature though, I'm just saying. But it's better said than practiced actually, right? Like literally. But I'm going to be trying so hard this year to control my own emotions and control my own reflection because that's how you can build confidence. People's like, how do you build confidence so much like that? Well, first you got to you got to think, okay, you need to be cultivating self-awareness. Make a list of what you excel at and areas where you can improve, right? Don't say, oh, failure and wins. No such thing. It's improvement. Identifying those limiting beliefs like, oh, I can't do this because I don't have it. So don't look for something you don't have. Look for something that you have, right? And then track your dang progress. Sister, how do you cultivate self awareness?
Cultivating self-awareness. It's it's actually the next step beyond knowing what you should do. Because too often we know what we should do. We know the steps that we should take to get wherever it is that we want to go, but we don't take the action. If we're going to cultivate that self-awareness, I see it as igniting your awareness of you have control, not somebody else. You've got the control. You get to take yourself where you want to go, and as you go down that journey, every milestone you achieve, every intersection you pass is just one more notch of boosting your self-confidence because you did it.
I I also wanna um acknowledge that each one of us is in a different journey, but at the end of the day, we want the same thing, right? Really, really do. We want to be accepted, we want to be loved, and we want to have a good circle of friends. I don't have too big of a circle. Yes, 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 I have following or whatever, but I only have a really small circle. And the reason for that is because not everybody actually 100% celebrate you. It's human nature to be jealous. And people is easy said than done, like, oh, don't be jealous, you can do it too. But it's so fake when people say that. Stop doing that. Instead, find a way to help them that identify their limiting beliefs. And even though we say, oh, I don't need a validation, crack of you know what again, at some point it feels good to have validation. But at the end of the day, what does validation do for you? Does that make you feel good about yourself always, that people are validating you? It becomes a bad habit because everything that you do, you're going to need to be validated. Why? They don't even know how to. Everybody wants a trophy, but they don't want to do the work of how to get those trophy, right? People buy trophies sometimes and surround themselves. Why do you think like Sharon Stone and Oprah said the same thing? Keep your circle small, because the moment that you're not giving is the moment you will lose a lot of friends, because they're not really there. They're not your true friends. They're only there because they can get something out of you or from you. So why do you want to put 20, 30 people in your surrounding when you know they're not for you? Pick 3 to 4 people that you can trust with your heart, your mind, body, and soul, and go for it. The moment that your friend him and haws on your achievement is the moment you need to reflect, is this a true friendship? Right? Because your friends can actually affect the way your mindset works. When you talk about positive self-talk and you're like, oh my god, I did this, right? I can't do this. No, 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 you can. I'm learning to do this, right? Repeat those empowering statements like, I'm capable and worthy, why not me? I'm capable and worthy. Why not me? It's because half of you is saying you can't, because you know why? The people around you told you you can't. And that's all you hear day in and day out is you can't. So how are you empowering yourself when you literally have the choice to move away or go away or choose new friends, but you're choosing to stay in a negative environment? You're not going to improve. The reason being is that it's so hard when you're in this box right here, not even 4 walls, just left and right box. Okay, it is so hard to change lane when all your lane is boxed in. You're not good enough, god, you're so this, god, you're a loser, god, you know, all of these things that you're saying, you're just not. How are you supposed to do that? You have your blinders on and you're building that resilience and you're building that self-worth in a negative light. You have a choice. Choose your move. And that is through action. How do you build those actionable competence? Sheesh, take a hobby. Enhance your ability. Read the Bible if you haven't read it in a while, right? Start small and scale up. Begin those low stakes. Build that momentum as you go along, right? Repetition and focused effort lead to mastery, guys. The same thing as school. Why do you think you have, associates and bachelors and masters and PhD? Oh, I'm gonna wake up, I'm 16, I want a PhD. You can if you test out, but you really gotta get that experience, right? It's because it's build upon build upon build upon build. So if you're building your emotions as I hate people, I hate people, I hate people, do you think you're gonna love people one day just because you're building I hate people? You don't. Okay? If you want your life to change, no one's going to do it for you. You're going to have to do it yourself. How are you going to do it? Figure it out. Build small momentum, right? So that you can do that. And here's another thing. Step out of your comfort zone. It's really hard. It's really hard. But push yourself gradually into unfamiliar situations, but lose the expectations. I think when you expect people to do certain things because that's the traditional way or that's the way it is, that's when you lose yourself. You get angry, you get disappointed, you get feeling rejected. You know why? It's because you had expectations. And then to top it off, you think people have a crystal ball and they know how you feel. They don't. Okay? Don't expect too much from people if you're not even telling them your expectations. Sister, how do you step out of your comfort zone?
Well, okay, so just to kind of touch on what you just said too, that when you're listening to other people who are basically telling you no, that you can't do this doesn't make sense, they're shooting your dreams down. That is, especially in childhood, that sets a bad tone going forward that makes it hard. So to be able to get out of it's gets you stuck in a comfort zone that you don't see how you can get beyond, and oftentimes feel, whether you think the words or not, you're feeling more like a victim. So really, when you can listen to what other people are telling you, and yet this is what you want to do, this is where you want to go, then the way to step beyond that comfort zone is to take the first step towards that which you want to do, instead of doing what everybody else, what whoever it is telling you to do. It can be a mentor or an authority figure. It can be your friends. And if you're listening to them and they just, like you said, they keep telling you, no, you can't do that. It's impossible to do. Forget about that. Don't even try it. The first step out of the comfort zone, because now you're listening to them, you've allowed that boundary to be created around you. The first thing to do is find a way to step past it towards what you want to do, because you're listening to everybody else. If you're listening to everybody else, how can you be your authentic self? How can you be what it is that you want to do? How can you even try to do what you want to do? And if you're willing to accept failure to try what you want to do, and if you fail, you fail. But that is also moving beyond that comfort zone and taking a risk.
Mike is like, do your show. When do we stop? Until February. It's still a new year for a whole month. Hello. Okay, so how do we empower each and every one of you to move beyond towards your ambition, whatever your heart desires this year, right? You can talk about it until you're blue in the face, but if you don't create actionable steps, you're never going to get there. So how do we do that? Listen to yourself, right? Listen to yourself. Okay, so let's talk about the every single Sunday. So we basically are doing personal development tonight. We talked about focus on self improvement, right? Mindset shifts and building that confidence. How do we build confidence? By doing actionable things. Next week, we're going to talk about business growth. We're going to share strategies on branding and marketing and scaling your business. Here's a couple things that you're probably wondering, CJ, why do you provide so many things? It's because my mission is to level up the world through education. On Tuesday, we have Mike to Millions at 10 a.m. after Susannah's show. And I know Mike King also has a show. So on Tuesday for Mike to Millions, I'm going to help somebody, Danielle's son, and somebody else if you guys want to come. It's called a hot seat, right? So we're gonna stop talking about theory and I'm gonna literally show you the steps to start your podcast. And this is not like, oh, Libsyn, I'm gonna video podcast. We're talking actionable things to be in many, many countries. We have over 200 countries. And so we want to be in those 200 countries. I'm hitting 130 almost right now. And it took me 2 years to get there, right? And I'm actually feeling bad because I'm getting feedback from my people like, CJ, your sound is so much better when you're doing it alone. And the mic, I'm like, I'm going to use my mic. But it's not connected to my computer. It's not none of you guys' issue. It's my issue. How to figure out my things, right? But I like feedback. So the only way to improve yourself is feedback. Don't ask for feedback from people that you know cannot level you up, right? Don't ask from feedback that doesn't really have your true potential in mind. because people will love to take you apart on what you're not good enough, but they don't help you enough to have solutions for your own issues to move up. And CJ, you don't have the whole entire book to level up. You're right. That's why I have to surround myself with people who have wisdom. But here's the thing. I am privileged and I am so lucky that I have R&D team up to 90 years old now. I'm talking to somebody who's 92. So I can learn how to help people up. My age does not matter when my heart is big enough for the world, okay? But here's the thing. I'm going to, my daughter always reminds me, Mom, help yourself, help save your soul. Whatever people are doing to you, God will deal with them. Deal with your own emotions and go from there. And that's so big for a 17-year-old to tell me. Like, my own kid's trying to save my soul, you all. I'm just saying, my sister's been helping me, but I gotta help myself here, okay? So I think what we need to do as a community is focus on not only for everybody's leveling up, but you got to focus on yourself, because I think when we focus on what we can do better and self-aware what our weaknesses are, then we can help others to also help other people. It's a ripple effect, right? But sister, before we end, do you have a tagline or an inspiration tagline or quotes that you would like to share when it comes to a growth mindset?
Hmm. Never quite thought of that. Um, I mean, that for me, and I can see that this can be part of a growth mindset is especially reinvention would be part of that growth mindset. You end up reinventing something. So I can look at my motto on that. It's like, I'm not what I used to be, yet I am who I've always been. And that's stepping in and saying that even though we're going to change from this point to the next point to the next point from what people might see, the core doesn't change. And if the core doesn't change, then it gives you, if you have a better chance of taking control if you understand that you are who you've always been. Now take the steps to reinvent, to move to a better space, move beyond whatever's holding you back, head into the gray zone of life, because that's where all the colors are, and move beyond whatever boxes are keeping you stuck, so that you can then become your own rebel with a cause, to be the person that goes against the grain and tell everybody else, is like, I'm done with you. I'm going forward. Whether you want to come with me or not, hey, who cares?
I love it. You're trying to pull a CJ. I'm loving it. See, that's why we love each other, because of how we think of ourselves as sometimes just leveling it up, right? Here's what I'm posting right now, guys. Okay, I'm like reflecting on the conversation, how we can have an empower hour every single Sunday. Every great achievement begins with the belief that growth is possible. Okay. And every step, I don't care how small it is, forward is a testament to the power of persistence and learning. It is so hard to just talk by yourself and no one's listening. Guess what? I'm thinking of happy thoughts. I'm thinking when I do my whole voice, like, ooh, I can do this, and I can, like, I'm literally pumping myself up. And I love my music because it's pumping me up. And I wrote the lyrics, and I'm like, oh wow, I did that. Wow, I did that. And I don't care if anybody believes in it. I believe in it. I'm like, I'm having my vibe. That's all it matters, because that's how I roll. Now, I'm going to leave you guys with page 849 on the Bible for the New Version Testament. And I in a moment of despair, I usually have this and I highlight it actually, because it helps me. Okay. So this is Psalm 9:17. No, 9. The Lord is a refuge for the oppressed, a stronghold in times of trouble. Those who know your name will trust in you, for you, the Lord, have never forsaken those who seek you. The problem with us is that when we ask for help, we want instant gratification. Listen, 100 years would be a blink for God's eyes, but there's billions, 8 billion people asking for help. Okay, I'm not saying 8 billion are Christian, but I'm saying there's 8 billion. They are asking for all their help too. So be patient, have faith, and continue to be kind. This week, your homework is pay for someone forward, whether that's financially buying someone's coffee or a smile, or help somebody else out there who needs your help. They might not know that they need your help, but you know they need your help. So always look for something good to do for your heart so that you can save your soul. Okay, so this is your host, Dr. Leland, and my beautiful sister.
Susannah, Dawn.
We love you guys so much. So remember, April has a class, CDV. I want to talk about CDV for the next 60 seconds. Confronting Domestic Violence. We're going to have an event in San Diego in March 2nd. It's a Sunday. So if you're in San Diego, join us. And then on February, we're also going to have a CDV event. So make sure that you guys come and join us. We're going to have more people coming into Level Up Academy because we're going to level up kindness, world, music. I mean, you name it. We're coming up. But our sister, Mike, I lost my pink hat again, Mike. I don't know where I put it. I saw it. I'm like, oh, I'm going to send it to Mike. I lost it again, bro. I don't know. I guess it's not meant for you. I'm just saying.
Never was.
Right? Oh my gosh, I don't know what's happening. But you did win our writing, so I don't know if you want to write with us for the scattered pages or you want to give it to a Hounds member. Let us know. This is the Hounds right here, guys, right? Look at that smile. Yes. And also, if you scan this QR code, it actually will help you with a list of items for your podcast that you want to do. This by Mike to Millions, I kept it at 50% still right now. And so if you want to buy it on Amazon, it will still be available for you. Okay. So join us again on Tuesday for Susannah. I'm going to have my own Wednesday show. So I will see you guys when I see you.
Level up, it's time to rise, unlock your potential, reach for the skies, transform pain to purpose, find clarity and stride. With Dr. Leyland leading, we stand side by side. Collaboration fuels us, together we thrive at Level Up Academy. Your dreams come alive.
I love it. Come on, guys, dance to like it. I can do it now.